What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about stocks personalities. Now you might be questioning, Brady, what do you mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is that certain stocks, each stock really in general, has its own way of kind of setting up before it likes to run in an uptrend or to push down. It has the same thing that it repeatedly does, right? And you can gain an edge from that because you can see it setting up exactly like how it's set up before. And let's say it's picking up on an inverse head and shoulders, right? Which, there's one right here actually. Say this is Tesla. So if you know that Tesla sets up as in the inverse head and shoulders, like, it did here, this is an inverse head and shoulders, and then it pushed, it looks like it's done before, and then you could start loading, boom, here. Otherwise, you miss that spot to load, that's perfectly fine too, but you could start missing once it gets down to here, this left shoulder right here, 803. Once it gets around there, and then you can start to load because you can know this is the right shoulder, right? And you can just risk right off that head and it can push, right? So let me give you another example of this. Tesla loves to fake you out early in one direction early in the day or early to midday. So here's a good example of it. Excuse the purple box. So you can see here, I'll make it bigger for you. You can see it push up. So I like to, let's just go based off of the 10-minute opening range, which we had a video on. Let's go, that's what I kind of like to use as my basis for day trades. So here, you can see Tesla in particular likes to pop under. You see this? Pops under, it collects extra liquidity. You get a lot of people jumping in short. Once it breaks below this level, you get a lot of algos hopping on short. So they fake it down and then pull it back up. Now all these shorts are trapped, right? So once you see this, you see it push down and reclaim. That's a great spot to get long. And as you can see, it's got enough volume then right here. You can see you got increasing volume to push higher. And again, you get a nice push. You get a push from 738 to 760, yeah, 761. So that's a great push. Let's show you another example of this. Here is Apple. Apple has its own personality as well. This was one. This setup, okay. So you have see this setup right here. You have this. You have a rounding bottom, right? And then you have kind of some tight consolidation right here on the. It's kind of like a cup and handle in a way, but you can you could call it a wedge even. But you can see that's a nice push, right? So now you ask yourself, where did that happen again? Oh, I don't know. How about right here? See this? You get the trend. Or you can go trend even there if you want. You get your rounding bottom. That's right here. And then you get your tight consolidation, and that's right here. The important part about it is the important way to think about them is you see it consolidating above this low, right? You see it making a higher low, and you see that's the same thing here. So you want to be looking for higher lows or lower highs in context of the bigger picture though, right? So in context of what happened here on 3/10 versus this is now 3 months later, right? So you have to pay attention to how it's reacting in context. But that's a great example. So you can see that. Another one we have is MU. And there are a couple patterns that this stock likes to do. One being it likes to set up these inverse head and shoulders. Here's one. So you can see that's, again, this is what we're doing. So let me just point it out so you know what it looks like. This is what it looks like here. This is an inverse head and shoulders. And I've looked at enough charts where I can just hop on and see that right away. But anyways, so you see this push, new low, and then a higher low here. That's a head and shoulders, and this is where I like to buy, the right shoulder. So you can see you could have taken advantage of this, and let's say you even get long up here, 84. Okay, well you just played the break 84 to $93. So, between $7 and $10 a share in a very short period of time. I think that's 2 days, 3 days, max 3 days. Okay, so the question now that you're asking yourself is, how do I profit off this? Which I've gone through a little bit, but what I think is really important is to anticipate spots. And so let's just say you only see the chart like that. Okay, so we're still looking over here. So you see this chart, you see boom, come down, and then you see you to ask yourself, if it drops back down low, here's 77 again, that's where this left shoulder is. That's where, in theory, it should hold around that level. So you would want to be getting, if in order for this pattern to work in particular, it has to hold above the head, right? Otherwise, it create a new low. Can't do that. It has to hold above the head. And in theory, you want it to bounce around where the other shoulder bounced, pretty close to it. It's not going to be exact, right? So you're anticipating, and you could be buying here at 78, 78.50, even up to 79 probably. And you look at it, didn't even get that low. So I like to start loading as it's coming down here into the right shoulder, so that I know I'm not missing that move. And if I have to, hold it red a little bit, I'll do that. That's just me personally. But the important part is to execute the trade. So as you see this happening, and you know that this stock in particular loves to set up these inverse head and shoulders, as you get ahead, as you get a lower low, and then you see it, if you can see this forming, from here on, which is what you want to train your eye to see, you'll pretty much just have a box, and you'll be like, I'm buying here, I'm buying in that box. Or you can go a little bit higher even. You might want to add slowly and say I'm buying the last piece in that box. That's probably smarter to do. Then you say I'm risking off that head. I'm risking off that bottom. That's my risk. So I'm risking 5 in this situation to make 12 or so. So risk reward's all right. It's not great, but it's just an idea. So that's sweet. That's all I have. So if there's anything you guys still want to know about understanding a stock's personality, any further questions on it, make sure you drop it in the comments. I will capture, or I will comment back to you guys, and just help everyone learn and grow. So thanks.